Hey, what's up, folks? Today is June 28th, 2025. I am going to do a simple video today. I don't know how long it'll take. Hopefully, I'll keep it under 10 minutes or so. But one of the things I've been working on recently is this longer script here. It's now about 1,200 lines long. It also has a form in it. So if you go to Resource View, click on the form, it'll pull up your form here. It's got a form with multiple elements, and then I learned some other things that you can do with the form that I'll be working on later. But as of now, I just think it's interesting that I've been working on this script for the last 2 or 3 weeks, which is probably the longest I've worked on any script. Typically, I'll start a script and then I'll just keep it moving. I'll just work on one thing to the next, and then I'll scrap the script and start over. So I don't know when I actually started this script, but that would be interesting to know. This was actually one that I started on a live. It was called Plotting and Debugging. It's one of those videos I did on plotting and debugging. So maybe you can go back to that video and you might get some inspiration or something as well. All right, so it's the plotting and debugging. It is on this. If I apply it to this chart here, the idea is for it to find swing lows, oh, I see I have an error. Okay, so like I said, I've been adding some things and I've been getting little errors here and there, but this error might be from setup orders. Okay, but still working out kinks, and I think that's probably why I'm still working with it and I haven't moved on to something else, is because, again, I do enjoy the challenge. So until I get this sorted out, I won't be ready to move on to something else. But then once I get it sorted out, I may very well move to something else. But don't know why I'm getting this error, which I didn't get last night. So when I shut it down. So this will be something that I have to figure out. But that wasn't the idea of the video today. But if we look at my program, you have the outline over here on the side. Okay, so you go to view, I think it's view toolbars, and then go to outline. So you can have the outline here, and that way you can see where all your methods are. I need to go through, and because all of these methods have been added after establishing these regions. So I need to go back, and this region here has all the methods, and then there's categories of the methods. I think what I want to do is I want to take them out of categories for the methods and put them all in one region, just maybe alphabetized or something. It was fine when I had a few different categories, but now that I have so many different ones, I'll probably leave buttons and boxes in its own category, but then everything else will be alphabetized. So I can get to it quicker because I've just got so many now. So setup orders, I think it was here. So I've got an issue with setup orders. And that's new order ticket. That's new bracket ticket. New order ticket. New order ticket. This does not. Oh. Token list, T3 list. I don't need this in here, but because I moved that up above. Let's see, that was what I needed for positions providers, this token list. So I need to establish the account index before I come and I set up orders, because otherwise I don't have the right account. Oh, this is what I'm looking for. Account provider. The account provider object has not been established because I took all this. This was right here. I took this, pulled it out, and put it up here. So because I split this up, I need to say that I need to set up the orders first. But when I came down, so what I'm going to do is so these are some ideas of working through longer code. Again, this is the longest one I've ever done, so definitely learn along the way. So what I do is I come here to edit, I go to bookmarks, I clear all the bookmarks. I come here, I hit F2 because this will hold kind of the space, the area that I'm in. Then I come down here and I can click on this, and then it'll bring me down to my once begin block. Then I should have set up orders down here somewhere. Yeah, if providers, which means that if I'm going to load providers, then I need to set up providers. But we know that I really need to set up the providers before I set up the orders, right? Because of the issue that we just had. And I don't need a once block here because this is already in a once block. So I just take this, drag it up here, and then that should do it. All right, hit F3 to verify. All right, but now if I wanted to go back up to that bookmark, it's like, where is it? Where is it? I just hit Shift F2, and it takes me right back up to that bookmark. Okay. All right, so now that we are verified, we can come back to our script, and then we can reapply it, and that should do it. Nope. All right, so still in setup orders. All right, so let's go back. All right, so setup orders. And again, we should be setting up the providers first. Account provider, account index. That's the only one that is, yep, this is asking for account provider as well. And this is asking for another object. I'm thinking maybe it's just not setting up the orders. Oh, I know what it is. Okay. All right. So, I got to figure out a way around that. So if I go to Alt F2, let's go back down here. All right. So what's happening is if I have the providers checkbox checked, then I'm setting up providers. If I have the trading live box checked, then I'm setting up orders. I should not be able to set up orders unless I have already set up providers, right? Because I don't want to be taking orders. Well, first of all, I can't take orders unless I have the account name, right? So with that being said, hang on. All right, so with that being said, what I need to do is say if providers, so this is a main branch, if providers, then begin set up providers, and then also while we're in this branch, if trading live, then set up orders. All right, verify that. All right, and now we can go back here and then open it back up. That should be, didn't do it. What? All right. Let's see. All right, so if providers, then set up, if providers, then set up providers. And then while we're under here, if trading live, then set up orders. All right, set up providers. That load, we loaded that. I'm just thinking maybe it's not loaded. All right, so we go back down. Oh, let's go all the way down. And we're just going to take this out for the time being. Setting up the orders. Open that. Oh, we still have an issue somehow. under setup orders, got an issue with setup orders, which is crazy because that must just mean that we've called it to set up orders somewhere else, and it asked it to set up orders before providers were set up. That's the problem. So wherever this was located, we need to turn that off. And I think I have an idea. All right, but we're going to do Control F, setup X, setup orders. We see it there. Go to next. That's the only place that it is. All right, forgive me, guys. You know, again, this is not a waste of time. And it's not a waste of time to you guys. I want to show you why. Because what you're going to end up doing, especially this is something to note when you're working on big programs, or if you're going to be making modifications to one of your larger programs, something that you really don't want to break, because if you break it, it may be unfixable. Save it. So this is plotting and debugging 2. This is my main script here. I started a new script, plotting and debugging 3, so that I could make some modifications and try some different things without breaking my main program. So yes, you can do backups or you can do other things like that, but you do want to try to every now and again have a backup or a main saved file, so that if you mess something up, you have something significant to go back to. Okay, so this is my main program. This one here is the one that I saved last night so that I can make try some modifications. So again, all you have to do is go here, and so whenever you're on the program and you're going to make some modifications to it, just go here and just go to File and then do Save As, and then so in plotting debugging V3 instead of V3, we're just going to put V4. All right, so that's version 4. So now you have a new version of the V3. So V3 is still somewhere in your file unaffected. Now you're working and you are modifying V4. So you can do whatever you want to do to V4. V3 is not affected. Problem is that if you end up working on V4 and it looks almost identical, and then you think you're working on V2, then you're not. All right, so hang on. Okay, all right, so we're back to V2. This is the one that we need to be on. So essentially we do need to just go back and make that modification at the bottom like we were just talking about. So if we're down here, and I think I like that better anyway. If trading live, so you see on V2, we're just going to take this and we're going to put it up here. But then I also want to do if providers, then yeah, because again, we don't want to be setting up orders if we don't have the providers. I mean, we really can't, almost, because we don't have the right account index. All right, so now we're going to verify that. All right, and now we shouldn't have a problem. Like I said, I mean, the logic tracks. And so when the logic tracks, sometimes you just got to figure out and make sure that something else isn't wrong. Okay, all right, so now we're good here. All right, all this is good. All right, so we're gonna hit visible. I made some modifications to this last night, so we'll see if it works. So we're gonna hit visible, and then we're gonna hit, we're gonna put this on a 1 minute time frame. Yeah, so these are the modifications I made last night, which added the environment to the string, the sequence. All right, and then it should restart another time here. All right, so this -9 plus 200 plus V, the -9 is the relationship of the open to the 9 period moving average. The plus 200 is whether or not the non-period moving average is over or under the 200 period moving average, and the plus V is whether or not the open is above or below the VWAP of the day. All right, and so these things here, this is like the environment. Okay, so this is where the swing is on the chart, and then these here are the conditions in the string, in the sequence in which they happen. These here are not in any specific sequence. It's just whether or not it's off or on. These here are in an order. So range happened first, then under the 9-period moving average, then the volume went up, and then it was a bearish candle. These here are sequential. This group here is not sequential. So that's the idea there. All right, like I said, a few other things I learned along the way was that the bracket order ticket was a little bit unreliable. Excuse me. Yeah, I think it was no, maybe it wasn't the bracket order ticket, but it's the Parent Plus version of the bracket order ticket. So I just had to make my own. Now I have to remember. I had to make my own yeah, so I still went with the bracket order ticket, and that was fine. But as far as the stop type and the take profit type, I couldn't use Parent Plus. I couldn't use the offset of Parent Plus. I had to actually set the price. And when I used Parent Plus, it would mess up the order. I guess it was still trying to do fast calculation or something like that. But when I just use the actual order price, whatever price I wanted, it put the orders in at the right place. Otherwise, I was having a lot of issues with orders being put at the wrong places. So that's one thing to note for you. All right, so we are 17 minutes in. Figured I'd be done by now. But so the topic of the day was to figure out, if you notice, I have analysis technique initialized. So this is analysis technique initialize. I have this stuff here, and then I also have stuff in a once block that's supposed to happen at the beginning of the chart. All right, so my question is, which happens first? Because I've tried to take some stuff and I took all this stuff out, and then I wanted to put it into a strategy so I could back test it. But when I did that, the stuff in the initialize block up top, it didn't play well. It needed to be moved to the once block, which it hasn't been a problem in this script here. So what I need to figure out is, should I leave this stuff in the initialize block or put it in the once block? I don't know which one happens first, which I always thought the initialize block happens first. But the logic didn't seem to track when I was doing using it in the strategy. So maybe I'll try both. But so let's see here. We're just gonna do untitled show me. We're gonna do faster, initialize, or once. Do that, and then we'll go over here to properties, and then here, events, initialize. So we'll have a print statement. Print. This is the initialize print out. Then we'll go down to a once block. Then we will copy, paste. This is the once block print out. All right, verify that. That is a show me. I'll come add a new chart. And it says show me. And then the name of it was faster, initialize or once. Okay. All right, which one came out first? Initialize printout came out first, which I figured it would, but I don't know why I didn't do that with the once block. So what I'm gonna do this time is I'm just gonna save this, and then we're gonna go to strategy, and and we're going to do strat faster print out once or initialize. All right, and we're going to come back over here to analysis technique, and then the event handler initialize block there. We're going to do our other, should just be able to copy paste that. All right, save that. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to apply the strategy to it. So we have to go up to edit studies, strategy. Let's go to add strategy here, and then we'll do strat. There. Okay. Okay. All right, let's clear that. Let's turn it off and turn it back on. Okay. Initialize printout is the once block printout. Okay. Well, I mean, that's what I figured, but like I said, when I tried to copy and paste everything over for my strategy, it didn't like stuff being in the initialize block. It played better when I put it in the print in the once block. And I don't know if that's variable assignment. I don't know if that's certain objects do better in the initialize versus the once. I really don't know, but it gave me a little bit of trouble. So, you know, if I find out anything about it later, then I'll make another video. But in the meantime, just a quick little test shows where each comes out. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyways, that's a little bit of an update for me. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, be sure to leave them in the comment section. Otherwise, join Discord for sure. And yeah, I've got to put out a few more videos. You know, I'll put another one together later today. It'll be about app storage, because I've been doing a lot with app storage. It's been able to help me transition from one initialization of the project to the next. So if you look here, you see under setup, initialization of the technique, I have all my app storage stuff that runs. So if I have anything in app storage that I need to pull back up, I put it in the initialize. Pretty much everything else goes in the once block stuff. Time and sales provider, this provider stuff should be in the time and sale and the orders provider as well, I do believe. I'm not going to put it there for now though. I'm going to maybe make a decision on that later when I can make sure that I check it. But again, when you have your program that does a rerun, so I can have this program, I can set it up to rerun at different times of the day, right? And so at different times of the day, it will automatically rerun this program. And so you say, well, why does it rerun the program? Because what it does is it plots all of the swing lows, and it gets the information from the swing lows and finds what situation, condition, what string of events most often happens at those valid swing lows, and then it will update the program with that information, and then that program will then try to mimic that situation when it takes an entry. Okay, so I do want this to be resetting every so often, and when it resets, then all this information needs to come back up. I still need, like if I make a change here, 25, or if I adjust the risk based on if we hit half of our profit target, then, or if I have Eric's hours on and I only wanted to take trades during 9:30 to 11:30 or something like that, then I need all these checks. I need all this stuff to show up on the new run, because the idea is for me not to have to sit here while it updates or does its new run. Okay, so then when you go to run and it does its new calculations, it should come back up with that same, you know what, I need to do one for adjusted risk too. Okay, so you see the reset time still came up, the visible, all that stuff came up. My max trade risk still came up. The trade in Eric's hour still came up, but I do need to do an app storage for adjusted risk because I need for this to stay the same also when the chart reruns. Okay, so that's a good point there. All right. Feel like it's got a rerun. All right, but that's pretty much it. So, like I said, still working on some bugs, and not all bugs, but some of it is just improvements as well. But yeah, I'm enjoying this little bit of a process, being able to actually just kind of sit down and work on something, and I'm learning a lot of stuff along the way. Like I said, about order providers, order tickets, app storage, pulling data back and forth, and trying to organize my program a little bit better. So it's a different part of my journey. So it's good. All right, guys, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.